So I'm going to also add a footnote here that everything in this ethereal level will be exponentially magnified if you use benefits with using the bell ringing while you're using all this stuff. Okay, so essentially we are a light being, an infinite light being that needs to be tuned. Now, whether you believe you are God or you're connected to God separately, that's your own opinion. Okay, so now there are these lists here that's gonna be in regards to you being a light being. Okay, so this one sounds strange, but spitting is so important. So whenever you feel you need to spit, you get foam in your mouth, anytime, don't swallow it, spit it. If you feel bad energy, stressed out, you need to spit, because you're gonna be storing these. I've discovered that I have a theory that memories and the energy can be transcoded onto spit and saliva. And when you think of something, if you're experiencing some bad situation or emotions or energies, you can start foaming in the mouth or getting like a saliva, and I don't want you to swallow that, I want you to spit that out. There's a lot of different spiritual practices, like example, some people, they go to the Amazon jungle, they do the ayahuasca experience. Essentially that's going to purge you of negative energies that you've stored in your life, and also some spiritual connecting too, and also finding yourself, right, being guided, right, because I believe in a higher power, and I believe that everything happens for a reason, and that we are all special and we are infinite, and we won't be, that's another good for another time, but essentially spit whenever you need to. Okay, now this is another one. Reiki energy healing. So if you don't know what that is, Reiki energy healing it's called universal life force healing, energy healing. But essentially there are people online that you can find. You can YouTube them, search YouTube and find one that you feel comfortable with. Because I feel like there are some that are, like I said, there are two types of energies in this world. Well, I didn't say this before, but there are two types of energies in this world. Shadow and light, and they conflict with one another. And until you learn that, this universe will take you for a ride. And essentially, I only do that Reiki energy healing from people that I feel comfortable with. And there's a lot of resources I'm going to put in the link down in the below in regards to all the resources that you can use. But essentially, they are doing stuff literally like just putting their hands like this, and they're saying, okay, I'm going to do some energy healing, and they go like this. But essentially, there are some people who are good at absorbing negative energy and purging energy. And I think anyone can really do this, learn this skill. I think there are some people who are naturally more, like they're just more powerful at it. But essentially, we absorb negative energy our whole life. And I've sat in front of computers and felt people literally take out the energy from my body. So essentially it's helped me greatly, and I really recommend Reiki energy healing, and especially cord cutting, because believe it or not, this world is everything's energy, frequency, and vibration, and there are people who know about this, and they actually can attach energetic cords to you and drain your energy. Like example, there are people they're called energy vampires or narcissists, as mainstream society knows them as. They essentially will drain your energy. They're very low vibe people who will constantly steal your energy, even if you're not even talking to them, even if you're just in the same room as them. So you have to be careful about your energy, and you have to learn about energy, because we absorb energy, and people like to attach energy to us or steal our energy. And I'm going to teach on my channel how to understand this more. So I highly recommend Reiki energy healing. Opening your chakras, so finding Reiki healers for that, aligning yourself, aligning your body, use of crystals and stones. So it was hard for me to believe too, but crystals can tune your body, and some crystals and stones can purify energy or reflect energy or protect your energy or absorb negative energy. But some of these stones, I've heard that they can hold the negative energy, so they need to be purged. They need to require to be cleansed as well. So positive sayings, mantras. So what we say is very important. If we are saying something in reality, we're willing it into reality. So we need to use our words very carefully, because our words have power. So what we say to ourselves is very important. So proper, like mantras, I would say, is just like positive sayings, right? Like example, when you're your follower of Christ, they say, I speak life into my body, I speak healing into my body, right? So speaking positive things. Energy protecting, so learning about how to protect your energy. So again, this is like staying away from negative people, not giving your energy randomly to every person, avoiding eye contact with people, because eye contact can be dangerous for energy draining or energy swapping. You can use burning of sage or to cleanse areas. Some amulets, like evil eye amulet, will protect you from evil eye, because evil eye is a real thing. People project evil energy to you and you absorb it, and that's why randomly you're going around your day, you're feeling uncomfortable because your sixth sense is picking up a threat, like a threat to you. And people, they already choose ahead of time if they like you or not, because this is a spiritual simulation, this is a spiritual game we're playing. And until you realize that, you're gonna get your ass kicked, because you're not choosing a side, you're just in the middle and you're just getting hit from every side, from every angle. So either you join the Illuminati or you join truth, right? And essentially, I think prayer is the best, to be honest. What's that? So again, the seven chakras. Let's quickly go over that. So again, you got the sacral chakra, which is actually down here, connected to your. Let's just grab it right now. The sacral chakra that's up there, and this is actually where people high in society, the pedophile people, they actually attach energy to children because they can steal their energy by attaching energetic cords to the sacral chakra. So that's how they control people. Also, so you got the sacral chakra, I think, and then you got the root chakra, right, which is connected to your how grounded you are. So literally sit in the grass, open your asshole, and sit like a straddle in the grass, in nature, like this. And just like every day, go to the park, maybe once every few days, sit in nature and let the energies release. Let's see, what's another one? Oh yeah, calling back your energy. So I know this is like a saying too, but you go, I call back my energy from all people, places, things, and situations. I call it back to me, all people, all places, and things. Cut all the cords from people in your past that you thought that they cared about you, but they never had your best interest, because they just want to steal your energy subconsciously. Like your brain is a filing cabinet. They were just like a little piece of paper. They were like a little piece of paper that they wanted to put it in your filing cabinet so that they could be in your subconscious, stealing your energy, when they really weren't even worth a damn minute of your mental time, of your mental precious energy. Okay, now we're going to the psychedelics. So psychedelics, this is something that I really highly recommend for natural healing. I'm a master psychonaut, and I had the opportunity to work at a psychedelic dispensary for a couple of years, and I learned everything about energy, and I learned a lot about the spiritual realm, and I learned a lot about natural healing. And essentially, psilocybin mushrooms that convert, you eat magic mushrooms, otherwise known as psilocybin mushrooms, in your body, it converts to psilocin. And essentially, this natural tool essentially allows you to combat anxiety and depression naturally on low levels. Like example, 12.5 milligram to 25 milligram, it would be subperceptible. Maybe about 100 milligram to 250 milligram would be like a social dose level, so you can go out without drinking, to go dance, because I think going out to dance once in a while is good to practice energy, like dealing with people's energy, right? And also, it's allowing you to ground yourself and practice sending out your signal and practicing dancing. Dancing is good to get you to be more limber and fluid, right? And essentially, now the full psychedelic experience would be 1 gram. And if you're on any SSRIs, you take double the amount. But essentially, you can take big pharma for the rest of your life, or you can wean yourself off of it and go into the natural method and learn about your health and natural remedies. Now, I find magic mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, are actually a natural tool that were designed to heal the body and the mind. And our brain is like a computer, so it like essentially defrags. It's like it defrags your files, reorganizes the files in your brain. And just I recommend someone do magic mushrooms at least. Let's see. I guess if you really want to, once a month, I guess it wouldn't kill you, but I recommend once every 6 months, once a year, or at least once in your lifetime. And that would be, I recommend highly. You start with I guess like 1 gram to start, half a gram. Then you would get more comfortable, and then you would essentially do this in nature or in your safe place. You wouldn't be around people or energies because this is for healing. And I highly recommend the Blue Meanie strain and having a macro dose of 3.5 grams. Now it depends on your body weight. I'm 155 pounds, 5'11", but 5'11", but essentially I love the 3.5 gram level for my size, and essentially that helps me for internal healing, where you're gonna be 5 hours locked down in your pad. You're gonna be crying and releasing traumas from your past, but you're gonna acknowledge the past traumas and release them. And you're gonna, it's very spiritual too. It's like angels and entities will guide you to your right path, and you can even connect to a higher power, source, God, whatever you call it. I call it God. Now, other things that are very beneficial I find is LSD, also known as lysergic acid diethylamide. LSD is actually natural. It's actually derived from a natural plant, and scientists back in the day found out that the alkaloids it produced could be used to make pharmaceutical drugs that actually were used to make LSD. Now, LSD, from my experience, can be very spiritual, and actually our brain makes these mental connections like a spider web, and they're like ropes, and they become rigid and taut and hard. But essentially, LSD breaks down these connections and makes everything more malleable, so that you can break mental patterns like cycles. And essentially, just like fascia, when I was talking about how fascia is like a shirt, right? And essentially, yeah, our stomach has muscles all around it. And essentially, if your stomach's weak, essentially your stomach, you are essentially sitting like this, putting weight on it. So if you have a weak stomach, you're not going to be comfortable sitting in positions where you put pressure on it. And also, I noticed this is back in the day when and I still probably am needing to work on this, but I went on a boat ride. It was like a orca, looking for orcas or something, for 5 hours. And essentially 20 minutes into the fucking boat ride, since I was so unstable, the boat was shaking me around, and essentially I was just vomiting for 5 hours. And they were giving me ginger, which helped a lot, but essentially, if your stomach is weak and you're not grounded and stable, you're not going to be good for like seafarer adventures, let's just say that. So anyway, LSD, actually, essentially, your mind makes mental folds from trauma that this system produces. So the system gives you trauma, and then the spiritual world gives you trauma. This evil devil matrix gives you trauma, and essentially makes mental folds. And those mental folds create physical folds in your fascia. And essentially, if you unfold the mental folds, it's going to automatically undo. That's like what the hypnosis I was talking about. So essentially, I had a very powerful experience. What I did was actually put on sound healing, put on Reiki. I ate a 222 acid tab, and I ate a gram of Blue Meanie, and that helped unlock my mind, people. Now I'm like limitless. Now I've combined my light and shadow perfectly. I'm completely balanced. I unconditionally love everyone, myself and God, and I have no depression and no fear and no anxiety. And I'm completely happy and calm with the basic, because this is literally all you need to survive, right? All I need is love, and I know I'll attract my person that God made for me when I'm ready, after I've developed myself, because that's how God works. That's how the universe works. So anyway, LSD benefits. So there's a guy named Hoffman. He wrote a book about that, but he says exactly what I'm explaining, how beneficial LSD can be for you, especially when you use macrodose mushroom experience and LSD. First you use them separate, know them separately, then you combine them, and then you can even use that with sound healing and Reiki in tandem. And that's way better, a million times better than going to go dancing or raving in a club with a bunch of idiot people who are on drugs and all in different energy wavelengths.